All right, everyone, welcome back to part two of today's live program. So today we're doing part two, how to break into SOC, and we have our distinguished speaker, whom I'll be bringing on stage briefly. So let's show your best emojis, comments. Are you excited? We're just going to wait a few seconds for more people to join the conversation in a few minutes, and then we'll bring in live our guest. And then before I bring live the guest, of course, I would run a quick introduction. So yes, we are ready to start. Who is excited? Who is excited? I want to see your excitement in the chat. I want to see excitement. Drop your emojis, those fire emojis, those love emojis, those Uri emojis. Let's see. Okay, so we're still waiting for a couple more people to join, and then we'll kickstart today's presentation. All right. I know you guys are fired up. You guys are excited. I am excited as well to be here. And our next speaker is how do I even start? He's a good friend, although we've never met in person, but I slide into his DM and I'm always disturbing him. Like, I know he's always like, what's this auntie that is always disturbing me? So I told him, I said, you know what, you need to come talk to the trailblazers, you need to come talk to our community on how to break into SOC. And he agreed. So what? So delighted to have you here today. Join us. Guys, we have Keneshuko Nzekwe. Is a cybersecurity consultant, and he's going to be talking to us today about how to break into SOC and become a SOC analyst. He is a lead analyst at his current employment, and he has experience across security operations, incident response, cloud security, and cybersecurity career positioning. We'll be dropping the link to connect with him in the WhatsApp group. So if you're not on our global community, please join so that you can get all the resources all our astute speakers are going to be sharing. And it helps aspiring and entry-level professionals build credibility, improve their visibility, and position themselves better for cybersecurity opportunities. So we are so excited to have him, and he's going to join us on stage in 3, 2, drum roll. All right, welcome on stage.
All right. Can you hear me all?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, guys. All
okay,
right.
before I proceed, let me share my screen, right? Or can you
Yes,
see my
we'll
screen
add
already?
your screen to the stage briefly. Once you're ready,
Okay.
just yes.
Oh, okay. I think you
Yeah.
can. All right.
All
All right.
right. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have control over my screen, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So actually good evening everyone. First of all, before we start, I want to appreciate Olamide Popola and the Thrive Academic Global for putting this together, and for inviting me to be part of this TAG 1.0 rejected to higher, become irresistible. So I also want to appreciate everyone joining live. Currently, we have some participants. Wait a
Yes.
minute before I proceed. It seems is my slide also showing that you've
Yes, we
updated
can
me?
see your slides. Yes, we can see your slides.
I mean, wait. Okay, let me confirm again. Let me confirm. Just a minute.
Yes, we can see your slide. It's showing your name and your picture. Yeah,
Okay,
why
okay, I
beginners
see.
struggle after training. Yes, you can see it.
All right, that is good. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, so okay, so as I was saying, I want to appreciate everyone joining live, and I know it's actually evening right now, and some of you may be joining after a long day, so I do not take your time for granted. So now let me introduce myself briefly, since Olamide has already done the much work. So now my name is Kenneth Kunzekwe. I work in cybersecurity with focus around SOC operation, incident response, cloud security, and helping cybersecurity beginners, position themselves better for opportunities. But today, I do not want this season to feel like a textbook lecture. Rather, I want it to feel like a practical conversation, because I know many people are here and not just asking, but rather they are asking, how do I learn cybersecurity? I know many of you are still asking deeper questions like, how do I actually enter the field? How do I stop being ignored? How do I show that I am serious? Even some questions like, how do I become SOC ready, even if I do not have a SOC job yet? And that is exactly what we are going to talk about. So now, tonight, my season is titled, How to Break into SOC, from training to proof, positioning, and opportunity. And my goal is simple. By the end of this season, I want each and every one of you to understand what SOC actually looks like, what beginners often get wrong, what you should start learning, how to build proof even without a job, very, very important. I know how to also position yourself better for SOC opportunities and other level opportunities. Now, I want this season to be interactive. I don't know whether okay, so now Olamide, can they actually use the chat box in this YouTube live? For
Yes,
interaction, can they?
yes. The chat bots are open. So if you want them to ask questions, I'll just be pinning the questions for you to see on the screen.
All right, all right, all right. So now I also want this season to be very, very interactive. So now I would ask a question and you guys can just use the chat box to answer in some scenario. Now, if you're watching live and you can hear me clearly, please you can go ahead and type I can hear you in the chat box,
Yes, we
in the
can
chat.
hear you. Yes, they're
All right,
chatting. We can hear you.
good, good. And also, you can also type where you are joining us from. It would be cool if I see some response. It would be very, very good. You can just type in where you are joining us from, either your country or your state, just anywhere actually. Let me know if I can receive any. Okay, yeah, I can see some reaction. Okay, that is good. I can see reaction um these names. I can't pronounce these names.
Emmanuel,
Emmanuel,
Gigi Clint.
okay.
Yes,
Okay, joining from Nigeria, joining from Abuja, Nigeria. That is very, very nice. Keep it coming. Keep it coming, and that is very nice. Now, before we go deep into SOC, let us first talk about why many beginners struggle after training. So now, because the truth is this, many people are not stuck because they are lazy. Rather, they are stuck because nobody has clearly shown them how to move from learning to proof. Now, can you see my second slide now?
yes, we can see it is coming up. Don't worry, just continue. The slides can be showing.
Okay, okay. So I think there's a bit of lagging via the side, but anyway, let me proceed. Now, one of the biggest thing I have noticed with cybersecurity beginners is this: a lot of people are learning. They are, watching videos. They are also, taking courses. They are also joining training. They are also maybe getting certificates, and also they are maybe hearing the word like SOCs, SIEM, Linux, networking, cloud security, incident response, phishing, malware, and threat intelligence. But after all that, many people still feel stuck, and they even go to the extent of asking themselves, am I ready? Why am I not getting interviews? What exactly do employers want? Do I need more certificates, or should I learn another tool, or should I just change my paths? And sometimes, this problem is not that they are not trying, but rather the problem is that your learning has not yet become visible proof. That is a very important difference. Now, training gives you knowledge, but proof creates trust. Let me say that again. Training gives you knowledge, proof creates trust. A lot of beginners are trained, but they cannot clearly show what they can do. Sometimes they cannot even explain what they have practiced. They might not be able to show a mini investigation. They can't even show a simple report. Some of them cannot even explain alerts, even show how they think through a security issue can be an issue for them. Some of them say their LinkedIn does not show their growth. Now, some as well, their resume only says I completed a course, but it does not show evidence. That is where the gap begins. Now, let's do a quick, brief interaction with the chat. Let me ask a quick question. If you have ever completed a course or training and still felt like I'm not sure I am not sure I am ready, type me in the chat. Let me repeat my question. If you are here and you have ever completed any course training and still felt like I am not sure I am ready yet, I want you to just type ME in the chat. That is me in the chat. Let's see. Just few seconds. Let me receive some reactions. Like if you have ever completed a course and you still feel like you are not yet sure you are ready, you can type it in the chat box. Okay, I can see from Emmanuel. Okay, from Kexi Prime. Okay, is that all? Okay, I can see a user here that we have met once. I've gotten his name, Chibike, right? User MZK that is joining us from Port Harcourt. You are welcome to be here. I think his name is Chibike. I've forgotten actually, but he's an Igbo guy. All right, so now exactly. So now, good. I can see you guys' reaction. That is very good. So now that feeling is more common than many people can admit. Yes, I would say that feeling is more common than many people could admit. So now, tonight, I do not want to just tell you, keep learning. Rather, you already know you need to learn. Now, I want to show you how to convert your learning into something people can trust. Very important. But before we talk about how to become SOC ready, we need to first understand what SOC actually is. Because if you do not understand that role, honestly, you will prepare wrongly. Now, next slide. So now, Olamide, please, I want to ask a brief question. Is this season being recorded?
Yes, it's recorded.
All right. Very important. So now, let's proceed. Now, let us simplify what SOC is. SOC means Security Operation Center. I want you to think of it like a security control room for an organization. Just like a physical security team watches, camera, checks suspicious activity, and responds when something looks wrong. But in a SOC environment, the SOC team watches it, watches it digitally, like the digital activity. So now, for instance, they monitor systems, they review alerts, they investigate suspicious behavior, they check logs, they escalate serious issue. Sometimes these SOCs even go to the essence of documenting what's happened, very important. And also, they help the organization respond faster. So now, when people say SOC analysts, do not only think about someone wearing a hoodie and hacking in a dark room. No, because sometimes some students always think like that. It's very wrong. That is literally not the real picture. So now, a SOC is more like a digital investigator. You are asking questions like, what happened? When did it happen? Which system was involved? Which user was affected? Even you can even go to the extent of asking, is this normal or suspicious? Even, is this a false positive or real threat? Yeah, you might hear me saying false positive. Yeah, these are terms in SOC that when you are in-depthly invested in SOC, you will not get used to this. Another questions a SOC analyst should be asking is, what should we do next? Who needs to know? That is who needs to know. That is your senior. Are you meant to escalate it to your SOC L2 or L1? When I mean L, I mean level 1 or level 2. These are the niches and level in an SOC in an SOC mini organization. Do you get? Because in an organization, let me say in a big company, there are SOCs, and in those SOCs, they have different level of SOC, L1, L2, and L3, depending. So now, those questions are literally the mindsets. So now, a beginner SOC analyst may deal with things like suspicious login alerts, phishing emails, malware alerts, endpoint alerts, failed login attempts, even unusual user activity. Sometimes they even go to the essence of dealing with cloud security alerts, even access-related issue. Sometimes security tickets and incident reports are being intertwined into their daily activity. So it depends on the company you're working for and the type of logs you guys security or SIEM tools do receive. So now, SOC or SOC is not only about tools. Please take note of that. Tools are important, yes, but SOC is really about thinking, investigating, communicating, and documenting clearly. That clearly is very important. Please remember this. SOC is not just about seeing alerts. Rather, SOC is about making sense of alerts. That is where the value comes from. Now, once you understand what SOC actually looks like, you begin to see why many beginners struggle, because there's a difference between being trained and being ready. Let's also talk about that gap now. All right, so a mini break. Welcome new users. We are really growing in numbers. That is really nice. So for those people joining us now, be rest assured that the recording will be provided very soon. Now let's continue. So now, this is where many people miss it. They think, I have finished the course, so I am ready. But the market does not only reward learning. The market rewards visible readiness. There's a difference. Take note of that. Now, training says, I attended a cybersecurity class, but readiness says I can investigate a suspicious login and explain what I found. Another example, training says I learned about phishing, while readiness says I can analyze a phishing email, identify red flags, and write a short report. And that one, training could say, I know my SIEM. That is, when I mean SIEM, I don't mean SIM card. I meant SIEM. These are tools for SOC. So now, training says, I know SIEM. Readiness says, I can look at logs, ask the right question, and even explain why an alert matter. Training also says, I want a SOC job, SOC job. But readiness says, here is evidence that I'm practicing SOC-related work. You see, this is the hidden gap. So now, many people stay stuck because they keep adding more training, but they are not building evidence. That is readiness. So now, they finish one course, for instance, and jump into another, then another one, then even another additional course. It doesn't make sense. So now, at some point, more learning is not the only answer. Sometimes the answer is, can people see what you are learning? Can people understand your growth? Can your resume prove your practice or just a resume generated by AI? And also, can your LinkedIn show your seriousness? Very important. Also, some answer could be, can you explain a basic investigation? And can you write a clear report? Also, and that answer is, can you speak about SOC like someone who understands the environment? You do not just become SOC ready by, learning quietly forever. No, you become SOC ready by turning your learning into proof. Very important. Now, let's do a brief interaction in the chat. Type this in the chat if you can. Proof creates trust. I want you guys type it. There's this saying that once you write something down, it tends imprint in your in your memory, or in your let me say recessive or passive memory. So now in the chat box, just type the word or type the phrase, proof creates trust. Let's see. Proof creates trust. Okay, that's good. It's coming from the Tribe Academy. Okay, GG. Okay, GG, good. Let's keep it going. Okay, no, Australian, I can see you. You are welcome. All right. Okay. Ola also wrote. Any other person? Okay, that is actually good, because that is one of the main lessons for tonight. So now, the next question is, what should I actually learn first if I want to break into SOC? Let us make that one clear. Now, the next slide. So now, if you are trying to break into SOC, please do not just start by trying to learn everything at once. Rather, if you are trying to learn everything at once, it is actually a huge mistake. And that is one mistake many beginners make. Cybersecurity is very wide. That is, there is SOC, there is cloud security, there is GRC, there's penetration testing. That is where ethical hackers comes in. There's also digital forensic, there's threat intelligence, there's application security, there's identity security. So a minute, let me just do a mini recap. So now you see this digital forensic now. Just let me just reference a bit. There's a post I made, a LinkedIn post I made, I think a few days ago. about parts in cybersecurity. So someone responded in a comment that she likes investigation. Then I responded back, if you like investigation, you are meant to do what? Enter into what? Digital forensic. Do you get? So that's just the point. So now let's continue. So now let's talk about talk about the SOC. If your focus is SOC, then that is SOC. Then your learning should be structured around SOC readiness. So now here are the foundations I recommend. So now I would like you guys to write this thing down that I'm about to say, if possible, because I will recommend, if you are here and you are serious, you are meant to be jotting things down. So now, here are the foundation I recommend for the SOC down, because we are focusing on SOC tonight. First, networking basics. You need to understand things like IP address, ports, DNS, HTTP, HTTPS. I hope all of you knows the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. Anyway, let's proceed. You also need to understand things like firewalls and basic traffic. So now, you do not need to become a network engineer first, but you must understand how systems communicate. Second, foundation of SOC, I'm speaking now. Operating system basics, very important. In this category, you have to understand Windows and Linux basics. For SOC, Windows is very important because many enterprise environments use Windows systems. So you should understand user processes, service, event logs, file paths, and basic command line usage. Very important. Then third, logs. Here's one of the most important one, because SOC work depends heavily on logs. Hello, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please, if you can hear me, please can you just react? Because it seems the YouTube live just kind of.
Oh, okay, we can hear you
Olamide,
clearly.
are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. We can hear you. We can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Do you want me to do the presentation so you can concentrate on
Okay. You guys can
presenting?
hear me. I can see some reactions. So let's proceed.
Okay.
So now let's not waste more time, please. So now I'm talking about the third one, which is what? Logs. So now SOC work depends heavily on logs. I know a log is simply a record of activity. Who logged in? From where? At what time? Was it successful? Was it blocked? Was a file created? Was a process started? So now, if you can understand logs, you are already getting closer to SOC thinking. Now, fourth, we are still at the foundation recommended for SOC. Now, the fourth one is security fundamentals. So now you have to understand malware, phishing, brute force attempts, suspicious logins, privilege escalation at a basic awareness level, even endpoints, alerts, and identity related risk. Now, fifth, SIEM basics. Analytics investigation. Sixth, and phishing analysis. Yeah, as you can see, it is presented in this kind of pyramid kind of shape. Now, phishing analysis is very important because phishing is one of the most common security issue organizations face now. Even in some organizations I do work, phishing attacks are very rampant. So now that's why you need to understand it. You get, so now you have to learn how to identify suspicious senders, links, attachments, urgency, impersonation, and social engineering signs. Do you get? And then seventh, incident response basics. You have to understand what happens when a suspicious event becomes an incident. How do you escalate it? How do you document? How should who should know? What action should be recommended? You get my point now. Then the eighth one, I think this is the last one, right? The eighth point, yeah. Communication.
Okay, so I think okay, so I think we lost the connection of our guest. I'm sure he'll be back in a few minutes. His connection is actually lagging. Um, all right. So far, can we have some reactions in the chat and comments in the chat if you have been following? Can I have a I hear you in the chat while our guest is trying to join? I think we lost his connection. All right. I know my SOC enthusiasts are here. I can see Pamela here. I can see Olani, Nino, Lainka. All right. Guys, can you hear me? Let me see reactions. Let me see emojis, comments in the chat. We can hear you. Yes, comments in the chat. Okay, quick one. Let's play a quick game while we're getting our host to rejoin. Can somebody tell me the full meaning of SOC? I want to be sure that we're in the same. Put it in the chat, the full meaning of SOC. Can we have it in the chat? All right. Security Operations Center. Okay. Okay. So I think before our presenter, before we lost his connection, he also made some comments about what readiness means, what trained means. So can we have someone also tell us one or two of the things he mentioned about what does it mean to be ready? What does it mean to be ready? What does it mean to be ready? One or two persons in the chat. Okay, our presenter is back. All right, I can actually handle the presentation of the slides so that we don't lose momentum.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Did I stopped?
Yes, you stopped at slide 5, incident response basics. what beginners should learn first.
Incident response basic.
Yes. So you're
Incident
talking
response
about phishing
basics. Slide
analysis.
what? Wait, let me
Slide
check.
5, I'm sharing. Can you see me the slide I'm sharing?
Okay, okay. A minute.
All right. So I was asking the people on the call, please put your learnings in the chats. What is said about how you show up when you are ready to be hired. What are the things that you show? How do you communicate that? I think you mentioned that before. Okay, so all right, guys. I'm still waiting for your comments. Please drop it in the comments. What are the things that we mentioned? How do you communicate when you are ready? What are the things that you show as proof when you are ready? Yes. So Luther, that's very true. So I'm going to project what he said. Training means you have the knowledge, and readiness means you can prove the knowledge. Absolutely. I need one more person to. What were the things he mentioned? Okay, can you guys still hear me? Please put I can hear you in the chat if you can hear me. All right, so I'll bring our presenter back to stage so he can continue his presentation.
All right. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And we
I
are
don't know.
sharing your slides.
Okay, it seems it was the streaming platform that was having an issue. But
Oh,
okay, okay. So let's continue. Let's not waste more time. You said I was in the sixth one, phishing analysis, right? That
yes.
was a long way, and I've been speaking since. I didn't even know that I was off.
Oh,
All
so
right.
sorry
So
about that.
all right. So now the phishing analysis, which is the sixth one. So now okay. I think I mentioned that phishing is one of the most commonly security issue organization face. And I mentioned that even my organization that I do work, we do phishing attack is the most rampant one that we do receive mostly. So now that is why it's important for you to learn how to identify suspicious senders, links, attachments, urgency, impersonation, and social engineering signs. Then the seventh one is now incident response basics. Remember, we are talking about what? The foundation, right? We are talking about let me get what you are talking about. We are talking about the foundation. Like I recommend, like the recommended foundation for SOC what niche. Now, the you have to understand what happens when a suspicious event becomes an incident. How do you escalate? How do you document? Who should know? What action should be recommended? Then education. This one is very underrated. You know, a SOC analyst must communicate clearly. Very important. Some SOC analysts are good at their job, but they don't know how to communicate. That is very poor. So now, if you investigate something but cannot explain it,
Or if you're on the call and you can still hear, you can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me. It seems we are having network issues from here. Okay. While we're waiting for our presenter to join, okay, so you can hear me. Yes. Yes. Yeah, he's back. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So as I was saying, communication. So now, if you investigate something but cannot explain it, your value becomes limited. Now, listen to this strong line. In SOC, your ability to explain what happened is almost as important as your ability to find what happened. So now the big question many beginners ask is, how do I build experience if nobody has hired me yet? Is a very, very important question. Now we are going to handle it in the next slide. Now you can move to the next one now. So now, this slide is showing in a. This is not what is meant to be showing in my own, but shall I just proceed? There's no time.
Okay.
So now, this is one of the most important parts of the season. Now, I want you guys to focus on what I'm saying rather than the slide. Now, many beginners say, I do not have experience because nobody has hired me. I understand that, but I want you to shift your mindset from that. Experience is not only about employment. Take note of that. Experience is also evidence. So now, yes, of course, employment is one form of experience, but before employment, you can build evidence that shows you are practicing real skill. Let me give you a practical example. You can set up a safe home lab, and document what you are learning. You can as well complete beginner-friendly SOC lab and write short summaries. You can also analyze a sample phishing email in a safe environment and still write what made it suspicious, what indicator you noticed, what the risk could be, even what action you would recommend. Now, you cannot create a you cannot create a sample incident report. Like, my point is that you can create a sample incident report. You can as well practice investigating Windows event logs. Remember my point. I'm trying to give you like employment experience, like the experience. Do you get? So now you can as well document a suspicious login scenario. You can also write a LinkedIn post explaining what you learned from a SOC lab. I hope you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can as well create a GitHub repository for your cybersecurity notes and reports. I know a guy here, like currently in this live with us, that has like GitHub repository, and it's very good. So keep it up. You can as well volunteer for small communities or students group by helping them with basic security awareness. You can also create mini case studies. For example, case study 1, investigating multiple failed login attempts. You can also go with case 2, analyzing phishing emails. You can also go with case 3, reviewing suspicious endpoints activity in a lab. I'm giving you guys real life case notes you can create. Then the two more case study you can do is creating a basic incidents response checklist, also, and explaining how a SIEM helps SOC team detect issue. So now, these are not fake experience, take note of that, but rather they are learning evidence. The key is, is to be honest, very honest. So now, you do not say you worked for a company if you did not. So you don't have to exaggerate it. Simply say you have personal SOC lab projects. You also have cybersecurity learning write-ups, even stimulated phishing analysis, even incident report practice, and also SIEM lab documentation. That is professional to go via that way. So now I'll be giving you guys some documentation template, just like verbally now. So now, when documenting any project, use this simple structure. The no need of I'm not yet in that slide. I will let you know whenever I want to switch slide. You get. So now when documenting any projects, use this simple structure. Objective. What are you trying to investigate or learn? Tool use. What platform or tool did you use? Scenario. What was happening? Investigation. What did you check? Findings. What did you observe? Recommendation. What should be done? Then 7. Lesson learned. What did you understand better? Now, that structure alone can make your work look more serious. Now, take note of this strong line. Do not just do lab, rather document the labs. Visibility starts from documentation. Now, but building project is not enough. You also need to learn how to think like an analyst, because SOC is not just a checklist, rather it's a thinking process. Now let's move to the the 7th slide. If you're with me, you can switch that to the 7th slide. Let's see what we have there. So now now let's talk about the SOC mindset. It's very important. A SOC analyst is not just someone who clicks to. A SOC analyst is someone who asks better questions. When an analyst comes in, your job is not to panic. Rather, your job is to investigate. So now let us do a simple example. Just one example, then we move forward. There's no time again. Time is not on our side. So now imagine you see an alert that says multiple failed login attempts detected for one user account. A beginner may just say, oh, this is brute force. But a SOC analyst should slow down and ask, who is the user? And some other necessary questions like, was MFA triggered? Was it the risk? Or should this be escalated? These are important questions that need to be asked. Do you get? So now, you should take note of this line. SOC is not about reacting emotionally. SOC is about investigating intelligently. Very important. Now, if you learn this skill and build projects, there's still another important part: how to position yourself. Very important, because many beginners are building, but nobody is seeing them. Now let's talk about how to position oneself. So now, before that, let me say something important. Many people here are not invisible because they are not talented. Rather, they are invisible because they are not positioned well. You can be learning seriously, but if your resume is weak, your LinkedIn maybe is also empty, and nobody can see your proof, opportunities may also pass you by. Now, positioning is how you help people understand your value. So now, for SOC beginners here, take note of this. Position should show 4 things. First, what are you learning? Do people know you are focused on SOC? Second, what are you practicing? Third, how you think. Fourth, where you are going. Is your profile aligned with SOC roles? Do you get? So now let's talk about your resume. Many beginners, or should I say many beginner resume say things like completed security training. That is okay, but it's not strong enough. A better version could go like this. You can write this thing down. Very important. Instead of saying completed cybersecurity training, rather say something like this: completed SOC focused labs involving phishing analysis, Windows event log review, SIEM alert investigation, and incident report documentation. Do you see? That sounds stronger because it shows what you practice instead of just saying knowledge of SIEM. So that is just actually it. Now, if you're learning SOC, post about it. You can post about what you learned from a lab, a simple breakdown, lesson learned, your SOC learning roadmap, even the project you completed, and so many other things. So now, let me give you a networking script you can use for those who code DMing. Now, when you reach out to someone, do not say things like, "Hello, sir, help me." Rather, say something like, "Hello, I'm currently building my SOC skill and working on beginners project around phishing analysis and log investigation. I came across your profile and I would appreciate any advice on what entry level SOC candidates should focus on." You see now, that sounds more serious than just saying, "Hello, sir, please help me." So now let us make this even more practical. If you are starting from today, what should you do over the next 30 days? Now let's talk about that. I'll be giving you guys the 30-day action plan. This is where the slide is showing. Now, this is not magic actually. It will not automatically give you a job, but it will give you a structure. And structure is what many beginners are missing. Now, in your week 1, you are meant to build your foundation. That is, focus on network basics, window basics, Linux basics, and the basics you need. Then in week 2, understand SOC basics. That is, you have to focus on what SOC teams do, what SIEM means, what alerts are, and how phishing is investigated. Do you get? And then in the week 3, you have to build so many projects. Do not wait until you know everything. Rather, build small. Do you get? Your project 1 can be about phishing email analysis reports. Do you get? And so many other things. Even if your project 2 can be suspicious login investigation write-up. All these I'm mentioning are top needed project that HR managers do look out for. You get? Then the 4th week, that is when you start positioning yourself. Do you get? And this 4th week, this is where many people fail. You get? They learn, but they do not know how to position. Do you get? So in week 4, the positioning, update your LinkedIn heading, update your about section, add your SOC project to your feature section, improve your resume, post at least 2 learning write-ups per week or daily, depending. Connect with 20 relevant professionals. Do you get? If you actually miss this season, or you are missing a lot. because I'm actually even skipping some things there because of time. Now, a strong line I would want you guys to take note of: do not chase perfection, rather chase visible consistency. Very important. Another one: your first opportunity may not come because you know everything. It may come because someone can see that you are serious, teachable, and consistent. Now, okay, let me begin to close this season before we enter the question and answer. So now this is our last slide. You get so now as I close, I want you to remember something. Being rejected does not always mean you are not good enough. Sometimes it means your value is not yet clear enough. Am I making sense? You can also react if you are hearing me subsequently. You can react subsequently. Now, sometimes it also means your proof is not visible enough. Sometimes it means your resume is not communicating properly. Sometimes as well, it means your LinkedIn does not show where you are going. So now, also sometimes, being rejected, also means that you are learning, but you are not positioning. So now from today, like from right now, I do not want you to only ask, how do I get a SOC job? No. Rather, I want you to also ask questions like, how do I become SOC ready? How do I show proof? How do I document my growth? How do I communicate better? How do I make it easier for people to trust my seriousness? Very important. Because SOC is not just about tools. Rather, SOC is about mindsets. It is also about investigation, patience, clarity, documentation, communication, and continuous learning. That is where consistency comes in. And if you are just starting, if you are here and you are just starting, do not let the size of the cybersecurity intimidate you, because it can be intimidating as sometimes. Do you get? So now you have to start small. One concept, one lab, one write-up, one post, one connection, one improved resume. Do you get? One better conversation. That is how momentum starts to build up. Then finally, training gives you knowledge, but proof creates trust. Then lastly, positioning creates opportunity. And please remember this: experience is not only employment. Take note of that. Experience is evidence. So now, if you are here and if you found this season helpful, you can Olamide, I think you should go to the last slide now, please. If you are Olamide Popular, you can go to the last slide, please. Yeah, you are meant to be here when I mentioned slide 10. I forgot to tell you. So now, if you found this season helpful, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Most of you here knows LinkedIn. When you send your connection for the new users, and once you send connection requests, or you can also come to my DM and mention TAG SOC season, so that I can know where you're coming from, so that I can give you some priority treatment actually. So I know you joined from this event. You get? So now, and I also share, in my LinkedIn, I also share cybersecurity career guidance, SOC learning direction, resume positioning insights, and also practical lessons for people trying to grow in cybersecurity. And for anyone who wants resource around SOC resume positioning or how to document projects better, you can also reach out after this season, and I will see you, and I will see how best to guide you, Sha. So now, thank you once again, Olamide Popular and the Tribe Academy Global, for creating this platform. It's very, very good. And also thank you to everyone who joined us live. Now, I would love to take your questions. Yeah. So over to Olamide. You can help
Thank you
us
so
organize.
much. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking time. And guys, I apologize for the network glitches, but this is like a really detailed breakdown. And I think I even like dropped it in the chats that one of the things I took from this is experience is not evidence, is evidence rather, not employment. So people can actually build home labs, like show what they are learning, detail it online, and then position themselves correctly. And thank you so much for also sharing your slides with us. I wanted to confirm if it's okay to actually, can we share these slides with the group on the chat, if with your blessings, or if there are any resources. Also on the group chat, we have a WhatsApp chat for Tribe Global Academy for career development. We'll be sharing the link to connect with you, so you'll be seeing connection requests coming from members of the platform. And I'll also share the link to the post you made about this conversation, so people can comment and connect with you. For those that maybe have already exhausted their connection request, or a lot of people don't use LinkedIn Premium and they are just trying to connect, they can't send streamline message. So just like comment on his post, the one he made about this conversation, and then drop information and then connect with him, so you know, okay, these people are like connecting and commenting and interacting with my post. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you are free. You are free to share the slide with your community members. It's
All
allowed.
right. Oh, guys, emojis, show of love. This is so amazing. Thank you so much. So, guys, you're not just attending the event, you're also getting the slides that are presented today. You're also getting free materials from our previous speaker, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, please show some love before we go into Q&A. I know we are a little bit over time, but we had some network glitches, so we'll just take around maybe another extra 10 minutes for Q&A. I know some people here that are already like done with their labs, they are done with their training, but they need more information. And this is part of the reasons why we put this together, so that you are done with training. Now what? That is what this is about. How do you get that job? How do you actually position yourself? And you have really done a fine job talking about it. So guys, this is where you get to ask your questions, ask your questions, ask your questions. What was the question you had in mind? What is one thing you want our guest speaker Kenneth to talk about? What is your question? Please drop it in the conversation and I'll be pinning it on the chat. Please drop your questions, your emojis, your show of love. Let's show him that we appreciate him coming up tonight to talk to us. And also, like I said, I think you asked if this session is recorded. Yes, it's live on the platform, and then a recorded session will also be posted and shared with the team after we make some like minor edits. And it will be shared on YouTube, so you can always go back to it and review, what we have learned today. But I'm sure people took notes, and I'm sure when you get the actual materials from the session, you'll also be able to interact with it. And then, of course, he has opened his doors to us. So thank you so much. Please connect, ask questions. He has resources that you can actually visit to learn more. I think he has resume templates that he used to get his current gig available on his seller platform. So yes, just connect with him and then you'll be able to access all the resources that he has. All right, if you are here and you are not on our YouTube, on our WhatsApp channel, that is where you're going to get the resources, because YouTube is a public place. You can't just dump information or materials there. But if you are a member of the global career group, then yes, you'll be getting that information there. So somebody was asking, where do we get slides from? So you will get the slides. Okay, so somebody is asking if you can repeat the headline. So I'm pinning questions to the conversation. Please, can you repeat the headlines in documentation? I think I saw a question earlier. I'll also see if I can pin that. Please, can you repeat the headlines in document? Did that cut?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Yeah, somebody is asking, please, can you repeat the headlines in documentation? Oh. The person that put this question, can you rewrite the question and drop it in the chat? Let me try to see if we can connect again. I think we lost this connection again. All right. So what are the questions? Drop your questions. Drop your questions. Those that I can get while we get our presenter to come join us again. I'll see as much as possible. Yeah. So somebody asked, how are we getting the slides? How or where are we getting the slides? You're getting the slides in the WhatsApp group. So there's a WhatsApp group where we have this conversation. So if you joined from the email that I sent, please look through that email. I also put the link to the WhatsApp group in that email. So you can join the WhatsApp platform. Conversations are going there. Ongoing support is also going to be happening in the WhatsApp group. So this person that asked about headline documentation, I need to be sure what you mean by headline documentation. Can you please drop the question again in the chat? Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So
Yes. Sorry, I'm trying to take the question. I'm trying to take. Okay. I saw a question earlier, so I'm trying to see if I can find it. Readiness is shows proof of thought process. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. The person said the headlines, it means like objects, findings, tools used, etc. I think that person is asking about the slide where you were explaining how to actually detail what you learned. So I think there was a slide where you were, I don't know if it's on the slide, but where you were talking about how to detail so you mentioned some steps. Do you remember that part where you were talking about how to like show your proof, your findings?
Is it the weekly one? Okay, I think it's the last one where I was saying how to become like the questions. Okay, is it the questions that is meant to ask? That is, how do I get a SOC job?
Yes, I think you walked us through some steps about how to actually like show proof, your documentation and all that. I do have issue about document.
Okay, let me repeat this section. Let me know.
Okay. Yes, please.
Let me repeat this section to know if it is. So now I want you to in that scenario, these are the questions you have to ask yourself. How do I become SOC ready? How do I show proof? How do I document my growth? How do I communicate better? How do I make it easier for people to trust my seriousness? Because SOC is not about tools. SOC is about mindsets. It's about investigation, patience, clarity, even documentation, communication, and then most especially, I mentioned continuous learning. That is where consistency comes in. Do you get?
Okay.
And
yes.
If you are starting, I told them that if they are starting, that they should not, let the size of the cybersecurity intimidate them, but they should start small, one concept, one lab, right? So small at a time. So I think is that what the person wants.
Okay, so if that's what you want, can you please drop it in the chat to say yes, that is what I want? Just drop it in the chat so we know that we answered your question on the live stream. So while we're waiting for that person to confirm, I just pinned the questions. I do have issues about documentation, and after learning a tool, e.g. Splunk, I find it difficult to do more experience like the log to use to practice. So this person is saying that when they have issues on how to document what they are learning, right? I guess that's the brief of it.
Okay. So he said, I do not have. Let me. Said I do not. A minute.
Yes. I do have issue about documentation. Says, and after learning it to lead Splunk, I find it difficult to do more experience. Like the log to use to practice. Okay.
In this kind of scenario, Okay, let me repeat the question to understand. He said, I do not, I do have issue about documentation, and after learning a tool, example Splunk, I find it difficult to do more experience like the log to use to practice. Now, in this scenario, I would say that this is a very good question, and honestly, many beginners even face this exact problem. Like, for instance, now they learn a tool like Splunk, but after learning the interface, they don't know what logs to use or what to investigate. That is what the person is actually confused about. Now, the first thing I want him or her to understand is that don't learn Splunk as just a tool. Rather, learn Splunk as a way to ask security questions from logs. If you notice, in all this thing I'm saying, I've been putting questions. Like, you have to know your question, like the question to ask what you are investigating. Do you get? Do you understand now? So now, for our practice now, you can start with safe sample data sets. Like, I'm giving you a practical way to like master this now. You can start with safe sample data sets, you know, because Splunk has sample data and training data set. If you are conversant with usage of Splunk, because as a SOC analyst, you are meant to know your Splunk handy. You get. So now you can also practice with beginner SOC labs from platforms like let me say try hack me and okay, let me mention Blue Team Lab. You can also go there, bring beginner SOC lab to help you practice in Splunk. Do you get a hand? So that is so now,
All
but
right.
even before chasing many data sets, this is something I want to say now. Even before chasing many data sets, start small. For example, use logs to answer questions like who logged in. Like if you're in that log now, use logs to answer who logged in. Was the login successful or failed? From what I address, and so many other questions. You get. So now with that, you will be conversant with how to master this particular Splunk and start solving that particular problem. Do you now get?
All right, thank you. So if you're clear, please put thank you for your response in the chat so we know. Another person asked a question. I think this will be like the second to the last question. What should be the content in the documentation?
Okay, content for documentation in literally documentation is what, let me break it down to the simplest form. The documentation is what documenting what you are learning. It's just like it's just like posting of your receipts or putting yourself out there. Is also a form of a positioning. So now an example of documentation is I said it in this slide in this season. Let me say for instance, you learned, okay, you can post your learning roadmap, what you learn for maybe for this week. Do you get it? Even the challenges you face, you can put it in your documentation as a form of documentation, which lab you are taking. Do you get? For instance, now let me give you a very practical instance. Let me say you are doing Cisco lab, network Cisco lab. You can post the screenshots. Do you get? As a form of documentation. Even post it in your LinkedIn on your where you are posting your receipts. So that is how your document. So now that's how the contents of your documentation should be like.
Okay, so it's saying that if you are, for example, you are working on a particular lab, you can take a screenshot and share. Please don't share your organization information. We're talking about your practice session, like the free available information in like the practice lab information. But if you are using, like, if you are learning with, or you have privy to some certain information, don't share that one on LinkedIn. Just putting the disclaimer out there. All right, somebody said, I think this question is for me. WhatsApp channel is what I have. Can I get actual WhatsApp group link, please? Okay. So If you join the channel, you'll be able to get the actual group. You will join the, if you join the channel, you'll be able to get to the welcome lounge. And after the live sessions, we'll break into different groups. That's when we would like post on the channel which groups to join. So you can just be on the welcome lounge, and then, because we don't want information overload where everybody just gets SOC, everybody gets GRC, and then people are wondering which one do I go through. So we'll be dividing people that are interested in SOC. There is a group for them, so we can give tailored support, and those that are doing GRC as well. So join the group, use the channel to join. You get to the welcome lounge, and then you get more information from the welcome lounge. All right. Is there any more questions? We can take one more question. We have 1 minute to complete, so we don't overshoot this too much. All right. So Ajadi Joshua says, thank you for your response. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Ekene, for coming to this conversation. We really, really appreciate you. We do not take it for granted. And thank you for even staying the course, shooting nights. This is already 19 minutes past 9. And of course, to everyone that joined the broadcast, even when it's late in the night, thank you so much. Please, let's show Ekene some love. Let's show Ekene some love in the chat. Please, let's show some love emojis. Drop your fire emojis. Drop your love emojis. Thank you. Say thank you. We love you in the chat. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're very much welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. And guys, like I said, this is a proof of networking. We have had 2 people talk to us today. These are people that I've never met physically, but people that I connected with on LinkedIn, and like, our boss, I really like what you're doing. Can you come to talk to us, talk to the tribe? And yes, he's here, he's talking to you trailblazers today. And I am very sure that very soon we'll have testimonies, and I'll be sharing. So when you get your new gig, please tag me, post on LinkedIn, and tell us, oh, I got this job or this. We are interested to hear back from you and celebrate with you. And please don't forget, join the WhatsApp channel. I'll be dropping the link to connect with him, and then dropping the materials they're sharing. We can't put that on YouTube because YouTube is a public place, and we don't want to start putting documentation here on YouTube. But definitely connect with him, reach out, ask questions, ask for support where required, and we'll be more than glad to help you transition successfully to becoming hired, not just trained, but hired, and so that we can now celebrate. Yes, that congratulations message has come in, it has dropped though. That is what this community is for. Thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Tomorrow, we're going to be having another fun conversation tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're bringing our HR personnel back to talk to us about what HR is actually looking for in your resume. So everybody, please prepare to attend. And of course, the last session tomorrow evening is happening, where we're going to go into details about using AI, optimizing LinkedIn, the strategies, how to handle, rejection, how to accept, how to negotiate. It's packed, guys. So please make sure that you attend. So thank you, everyone. Like my what's it called, my emojis will say bye bye. Thank you so much for joining. Have a lovely evening. See you tomorrow.